So my wife sat me down one day and basically said, "Hey, Gal, we got married 7 months ago. I didn't get married to be alone. You need to figure this out."
Where did Pawn Leaders come from? Like, talk to us about the story, because I know you did the thing with your brother, and then you went out on your own to do this, which is a big step.
Yeah. So I started working with my brother part time because I always told myself I never want to be a pawnbroker. I hated that my father didn't have time, worked 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. We rarely got to see him. It was like business, business, business all the time. He provided, he was a great father, but he just didn't have any freedom. So I was like, I just want to be a rock star. There's no way I want to be a pawnbroker. And as my brother brought me in, one day a week became two, then three, then four. And then I was working 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. Um, at some point, I got married and I was working and everything I said I wasn't going to do is exactly what I became. So my wife sat me down one day and basically said, "Hey, Gal, we got married 7 months ago. I didn't get married to be alone. You need to figure this out. Nice house, nice car, vacations, trips. Sex life sucked. Our relationship sucked. I was coming home just exhausted, going to sleep. We weren't communicating." And she's like, "What? Why did we do this?" And that's kind of when I went into this journey into leadership and self-development to see how do I run an epic business and how do I have an epic relationship all at the same time. And that's where it started. And my brother gave me enough freedom to take courses and toy around in the pawn shop that at some point I just basically said, this is what I want to do. And we split amicably. And now this is what I do full time.
Awesome. So talk to me a little bit about Pawn Leaders, because let's start with the first thing that I was interested to learn was, what's the percentage of pawn shops that are actually privately owned versus corporate, like bigger chains?
So you have in the United States, because those are the numbers I know, you have about 12,000 pawn shops in total, of which 3 to 4,000 are corporately owned. Some of them own 1,000, 1,800. I mean, a lot of stores. You have about 7,500 small mom and pop shops. There's some big chains, 21 stores. He's one of my clients. There's single operators who are doing, 8 figures a year. So very small niche when it comes to physical locations.
Got it. And you help them through developing leadership. We were talking before the call. I mean, we've talked a couple times. But what you help them do is so revolutionary, because you're not focusing on just how to make more money. You actually start with the customer and start with the culture of the pawn shop to grow them. So talk to me through, like, what were some of the things that you started doing at your brother's store, and then what did you take out on your own, and what have you really helped people with now?
So at first I was learning leadership so that I can implement it in my business and build a great culture to have more freedom. Right. And so I would start, we had meetings and we would do games and culture creation and built a mission statement and vision and values, and things were growing and we were having a good time doing it. And I would always just look back to all of the conventions I went to, and the pawnbrokers were overweight. They were getting divorced. They were just getting, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this show or not. You can let me know. But
You're
they were
fine.
getting shit faced, every time they went out. They were just like alcoholic. And it was just like, I was like, yeah, they're making money, but their lives are falling apart. And I saw this with a lot of, the men in my family that were like, there wasn't freedom, overweight, stress, anxiety, overwhelm. Yeah, the bank accounts were fat, but so was their belly. And so I said, man, I think that if I want to make a difference, I need to go out here and first teach leadership. And mind you, Steve, I first went out and I taught, I had real estate agents and insurance brokers as my clients. And then one of my mentors was like, Yigal, you want to grow fast, niche down. And so I started a podcast, just niched into the pawn industry and went into like really teaching leadership and culture so that they would have freedom to open up their mind in order to make more money.
So let's talk about, first off, that's awesome, because that I think you see that challenge everywhere. People learn how to make money, but they sacrifice everything else in their life to get there, and then they're miserable. Money is not the root of all evil by any means. Like, money can make you a whole lot happier if you use it correctly, but if that's the only thing you're after, then the rest of your life doesn't matter, right?